All right, hey guys, welcome to part 2 of the Razorblade video tutorial. So last class we made the curves to outline the Razorblade using this background bitmap, and then we then made these cross-section curves. Cross-section means you slice an object and you kind of get its cross section. So let me just silence, sorry about that, my phone. So I'm going to continue on with the tutorial. So here is where we left off. Okay, and I mirrored one surface over the X plane and had the other one here. All right, so now what they want us to do is make a series of kind of conic looking curves here. One is kind of like a little bit pointy and one is a little bit more like this. They tell you to use the control point editing. I haven't had a lot of luck with it. I feel like it distorts it a little bit too much without grid snap on. And here they kind of show you how you can pull just the bulge here of the curve. Okay, and then what we're going to do is then do this cool command. It's a really cool command. It's called a sweep to rail command. And that's going to take those two curves and sweep them all along the top and the bottom, all along the outer edge of the top and the bottom of these two surfaces. So let's get started. So one of the big tricks you have to do here is turn off your curve layer, okay? Because this command that I use, I find it works really well. So there are no curves here. These are just surfaces, but there are surface edges. So I'm going to do a curve, blend curve, and then quick curve blend. And I'm going to do right over here. So it says select first curve to blend, select it near its end. Now there is no curve here, but there's an edge to a surface, and Rhino will let me do it. So I'm going to click right here, and it flashed. And now it says select second curve to blend. I could do it here. All right, so I've got this shape right here. It looks pretty good. And then I'll do the same thing on the other side. So again, that was curve, blend curve, quick curve blend. I'll do this and this. Okay. Now I'm going to just temporarily create one new layer, and I'm going to activate it and make it red. I guess I'm going to make it red. No, I'll do magenta. And I'm curious if I can get it to look a little bit more like theirs. I did just see something. So if I did curve, blend curve, adjustable curve blend, let's see what we get. Select curve to blend. So again, top edge and then bottom edge. Oh, cool. Okay. So now let's see. We've got options here for where I guess the bullets are. And if I were to, let's see. All right. I mean, that's looking okay. Is it going to be uniform or not? No, it's pretty good. Okay. I mean, we can try to match it with the grid snap like they just did right here. So that's way too far. I'm gonna cancel. I'm just gonna quickly look at the tutorial again. I figured I would just try this out. All right, so proportionally about the height between these two, it's the width over here in the right side view. So let me try that one more time. So I'm gonna have to try to get it out to, I guess, like right here. Okay, so curve, blend curve, quick curve blend, and oops, curve, blend curve, adjustable curve blend. So top edge, bottom edge. Noticing I'm clicking in the perspective. Oop, that was the wrong side. Okay, cancel. Do it again. I'll try here. So then that'll be here and here. Okay, good. All right. And that actually looks good right there. I'm going to just hit OK. All right, so I'm going to delete this one. And I am going to throw this back into my blue layer. And hey, that's how you learn Rhino, okay? I've been doing this for about 16 years and just trying something different. So now what we're going to do is the sweep to rail command. Okay, so I'm going to go into a full-size perspective so you guys can see this. And what we're going to do is take this curve and sweep it all along around these two edges, and it's going to eventually transition into this curve. So surface, sweep two rails. You can think of it as two railroad tracks or like a rail slide, 1 foot and the other foot has to go around all this. So sweep two rails, select first rail. So it's going to be this top edge. Again, don't have any of your previous curves visible. Select second rail, same area, bottom edge. And you don't have to hit enter on this one, okay? It's one of those commands. Select cross-section curve. So I'm going to do the top edge of this one. And then it says, if you're done selecting them, then do it, because it would just take this shape. But no, I want to also select this one. Now I'm done. I'm going to hit enter. And I'm going to get a sweep to rail window option. So here you could see, it's actually nice that I'm working in a different layer because we could really see it. So I am going to do a maintain height, and I'm going to hit the preview button. You're going to see it's going to flatten a little bit. There we go. Just kind of makes it look a little tighter. Okay, if we hadn't had filleted these corners originally, when we had offsetted this curve and used it to trim this, we would have had a seam here. The sweep rail would have had a break, or it would have folded in on itself. Okay, so I'll just check with the tutorial again on the sweep rail. So they said tangency, maintain height. Okay, tangency options on both A and B rails. Okay, so let's just make sure. Oh, tangency. Okay, let's see. I'll see if it makes a big difference. I'll hit preview. I didn't see a big difference. Okay, let me do position again. Preview. I don't think it's necessary. Okay, I'm just going to hit OK. All right, so there's that. Let's go on. Okay. Okay, so they use 2 different layer colors too. Okay, they're showing you. Join the 3 surfaces together now. Okay, so we'll do that. All right, so I am going to have, I'm going to call this new layer, now that I know what it is, I'm going to call it Razorblade Body. And I'm going to activate it. And I'm going to join this surface with this one, and then hit enter. And they should all be blue now. All right, great. Okay, I have some curves here. I'm just going to do a simple SELCRV for select curves. We did that last time. And it says 2 curves added to selection. You can see them. They are both highlighted. And I will move them now into the curve layer. All right, cool. So back to this. Okay, so now it says it wants us to extrude the original boomerang curve that we had done here as a cutting surface. And again, they start doing this whole split thing. And I would just do extrude and then do a double trim. So you get this right here. Okay, and then they're going to join them up. So we get a closed surface. And then we're going to do a solid fillet edge. And we're going to hope you can see that their fillet right here gets a little funky. Okay, let's see if we can do this. So I'm going to turn on my curve. And I'll go into a ghosted display here. Oh, I am ghosted. Let me do X-ray. Okay, good. That's good. So here's my boomerang curve. If I go even into wireframe, it's coming off of the body, not the razor blade holder. Okay, so you got to make sure of that. So let's do a surface extrude curve straight. I'm going to extrude the boomerang. I'm going to click on it in the perspective here. Enter. And I'll activate the other layer so I can really see it. Now, when I'm extruding this, it's only going on one side. I won't be able to trim with it because it's only extruding on one side. So I'm going to click on both sides equals no. I'm going to make it both sides equals yes. There we go. And then my extrusion height, I'm just going to make sure it goes all the way through it. Okay. So it's going all the way through it. And then now I'll go back to a shaded display because this whole thing has been joined up, so it's very easy to click. Let's start trimming. So trim, select cutting objects is my boomerang surface. Enter. Select objects to trim is the front of the razor blade body. Boom, enter. Okay, now I'm going to do my double trim. So I'm going to trim again. So I could just right click and select cutting objects is going to be the razor blade body. Enter, select objects to trim. It's going to be this, just like the lug nut when we did the lug nuts for the wheels. Okay, so now I'm going to activate the razor blade body and join the body to the sliver. You need to do this. And look, well, did it say it up there? Sometimes you can't see it. All right, well, there it is. Two surfaces or poly surfaces joined into one closed poly surface. Okay, so this is closed. It's watertight. This is what we want. So I'll hide my curves. And now I'm going to do what they were saying, which was to try to do a solid fillet edge. They want a radius of 1.25 millimeters. That's pretty aggressive. I think a lot of us will have problems with that, but I'll try it. So solid, fillet edge, select edges to fillet. The radius is 1. I'll follow the tutorial, 1.25. Okay, and now I'm going to just walk the path and just keep on going. You could see this is my fillet handle right here, and I think it's rather deep. I'm not too optimistic on it. Oh no, all right, so I clicked on that by mistake, so control click, unselect it, and then just try to get it in a better spot. So right there, okay. And I'm gonna hit enter. And then now it says, do you want to adjust the fillet handle? No, I'm just gonna see what happens. Hit enter again. And there we go. See? Fillet fail. So it was too large, and it couldn't mathematically wrap itself around some of these tight areas, especially, you know, where the seam is. There is like some math involved there. So I'm going to undo, and I'm going to redo it. So fillet, I'm going to change the radius just to 1. I'll go a little faster. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Enter, enter. Still got some tails. Bummer. Okay, and I'll do a 0.5. I hope this isn't a total failure. 1, 2, 3. Oh. Right there. Enter, enter. Come on. Yay. All right, so that looks good. And all of that looks good. Definitely inspect it. Okay, I'm going to just hit a save because that was a lot of work. And I don't know how long the video is right now. I'm thinking it's like close to 10 minutes. But let's just see. All right, we're going to do almost the same thing. I'm going to end on this part. Okay, like I'm going to do this step and end it. So we're going to make a new boomerang right over here where the back like thumb piece is. And what we're going to wind up doing is splitting the razor blade body. And then we're going to split the cutting surface. So we get this like piece that looks like a tongue in here. And then we're going to copy it in place and join one half of it, or one version of it, to the body, and the other version of it to this thumb piece. They just move this out of the way to show you what it would look like, okay? And then we're going to do a micro fillet. They do this whole thing where they do a surface edge analysis, and they show you how to do, this is all I want right here. I want this. I want 2 fillets to make it look like a real piece of plastic, like how it's not like a sharp edge. But they give you a fillet workaround where you use a pipe command, and then you trim out the gap, and then you do a blend surface in there, which is pretty cool. Or you could do a variable radius fillet, which is a little crazy looking, where it's like small fillet, big fillet, okay? So we're going to just stop. We're going to try to get right up to this part right here, and we're not going to do this part. If you want to, you can try it, but all right. So top view, let's go back into wireframe, and I'm going to activate my curve layer, and I'm going to do a good old control point curve. Let me maximize the top view so you guys can see it. Okay, I'll grid snap off, and I'll just aim. I like to and we're making curves to cut things, definitely start off of it. I would also, if you can, avoid hitting your arc right here. Make it come a little bit like, miss it a little bit. All right, so I got this curve. I've just selected it. It's all the way over here. Let's do a surface extrude curve straight. Both sides is already set at yes, which is good. So I'm just going to extrude it up here. All right. And I'm going to actually temporarily throw it into that magenta layer, so I could hide my curves and not, you guys can kind of see things a little nicer. All right, I'm going to go into a ghosted display to try to help you guys see this. Or maybe should I do an X-ray? I think ghosted was better. Okay, so you could see it. All right, so this is one piece. I'm going to split it so that I get this half and then the back thumb piece. I'm going to split it with this. So split. Select objects to split is the body. Enter. Cut. Select cutting objects is my boomerang surface. Enter. All right, one poly surface split into two pieces, so 1 and 2. Looks good. And then now what I'm going to do is trim off this excess here. So trim. Cutting objects could be any piece of your blue piece, because they were that's what they could, either one of them can cut it. Okay, so press enter. And then select objects to trim is this outer piece here. Press enter. Now you could see I have this surface here. All right, I need to duplicate it so that I can have one to join to this half and one to join to this half. So check this out. So I'm going to start the copy command. It says select objects to copy. I'm going to try to find an ISO curve. This is an ISO curve. Otherwise, I'm going to wind up copying the body. So I'm just going to click on that ISO curve there. That works. Press enter. And then I'm going to click on the word in place right here. Okay, and it's a little tricky because nothing happens. You click on it, nothing happens. But then when you click on this thing here, you could see you have two of them sharing the same 3D space. So I am going to join the blue to one of these magenta surfaces, and it flashed. Okay, so this is now a closed, when you look at this, it's a closed poly surface. It's a closed solid. Now I'm going to join, click on the ISO curve, the pink surface to this. Awesome. That's a closed poly surface now. If I do what they did, where you drag it out of the way, you can see that I have, let me go into shaded, two completely, closed solids. So let me undo my drag. Okay, and I'm going to hide this thing, and I'm going to try to do a little micro fillet. So if I go back to part 2, they did a 0.25 millimeter radius fillet. So I'm going to do a solid fillet edge, and I'm going to change the radius first to 0.25, and I'll just click away, walk the path, fingers crossed. Did I get no tails? All right. I think that's good. Make sure you inspect it. Another good way to inspect it is go to your render display and just see the gray rendering. And just kind of rotate it. Okay, that looks good. All right, and I'll activate this guy, and I'll call this the back piece now. I know what it is. Back piece or thumb piece, and hide the blue. And we'll do the same thing. So let's do solid fillet edge, 1, 2, 3, 4. To unselect, control click, and then that one. Enter, enter. Come on. And then do a quick render check. Oh yeah, looks good. Let's put them both on. Look at that, looks just like the tutorial. Okay, so I've got this nice little seam, this double filleted seam, which is what they would have in real life, so you don't have any sharp edges, And interesting how much of a seam I have there. Usually it's pretty smooth here. I haven't seen that before. So I wonder if it was because I did something different in the beginning with the blended surface. All right, guys. So I'm going to end this video and create my Edpuzzle for you guys with it. Thanks for watching. I hope it's helpful. I'll see you guys in class.